Hi everyone, I'm Mitali and I'm going to be talking about the Stripe machine learning interview process. At the end of this video, you should have a good understanding of the process itself, what interviewers look at, and a bunch of tips for each round. Quick intro, I'm from Prepfully. This video has been put together by Stripe machine learning engineers who are also interview coaches on Prepfully. They've coached hundreds of candidates through the process and can be booked directly on the website if you need more personalized guidance. Right then, moving on to the interview. The Stripe machine learning interview process typically comprises the following 3 rounds: initial screen, technical phone screen, and 3 to 5 panel interviews, which are an on-site round. Let's discuss these in detail. So the first step in the Stripe machine learning engineer interview process is the recruiter chat, which is typically a 30-minute phone call with a recruiter. I have 3 tips for this round. Number 1, it often starts with the old favorite, tell me about yourself. So it's useful to have a brief and engaging introduction ready to roll. Number 2, recruiters typically peruse through your resume and ask questions about your past projects. So think ahead and pinpoint a couple of impactful stories beforehand. Focus on topics like what your contribution was, how things went, and what you could have done better. And finally, you can expect the classics, why Stripe and why machine learning. So make sure you have a clear reason for why you're applying at Stripe, specifically why in that role. Coming to the next round, the online assessment round. This one is on CoderPad and feels a lot more practical than the typical lead code stuff. The problem itself is semi-real life and usually focused on data manipulation with some conditional logic. It's pretty straightforward, but definitely requires clarity on requirements and careful handling of edge cases. I have 3 tips for this round. Tip number 1, they're mainly looking at your approach to structuring and writing logical, efficient code for that could be useful in a real ML engineering scenario. So make sure to focus on writing clean, readable code and confirm any assumptions you have upfront. Tip number 2, use platforms like LeetCode. Try SQL questions, HackerRank or Strata Scratch to practice real-world data problems. This will help you get comfortable with extracting and processing data from tables. And finally, tip number 3, my most foolproof tip is to practice this round with a Stripe ML engineer. Connecting with someone who has direct experience with Stripe's interview process can give you invaluable insights into what to expect, the kind of problems they emphasize, and how best to tackle them. You can reach out to an ML engineer on Prepfully for guided practice and feedback. Find the link in the description box. Right then, next is the on-site round. You'll face 4 main interviews. First, a coding interview. Second, an ML design interview. Third, an ML bug squash. And finally, a hiring manager chat. Let's discuss each of these briefly. So the coding interview is either in your own IDE with screen sharing or in CoderPad, and the questions are typically practical coding problems related to data manipulation, model implementation, or algorithm optimization. Here you need to make sure you are super familiar with languages like Python or Scala, as well as libraries commonly used in machine learning such as NumPy, Pandas, or TensorFlow. Next is the ML design interview, where they'll test your ability to design a machine learning solution at scale. For instance, something like fraud detection or a recommendation system for merchants. They'll be looking to see how you structure your ideas around data ingestion from various sources like transactional data and user behavior, and how you handle feature engineering and model training. Here are 3 tips for this round. First and most important, make sure to emphasize how your design will scale. Stripe processes a massive volume of transactions, so you'll need to discuss strategies for handling large data sets while maintaining low latency and ensuring system reliability under load. Next tip, make sure you articulate your reasoning when choosing algorithms and designing workflows. They'll be very interested in your decision-making process. Finally, expect to talk about trade-offs, such as balancing model accuracy with processing speed or compliance with regulatory standards. It's best to practice with a Stripe machine learning engineer to get an accurate picture of what the ML design interview is really like. It would help you brace yourself for what you're up against, what is expected of you, what buzzwords you should hit, and so on. Prepfully has a bunch of ML engineers with a ton of experience who can coach you in this regard. Book a one-on-one mock session with them directly using the link in the description box. Okay then, moving to the third round, the ML bug squash interview. In this round, you're given a piece of buggy code, often a simplified version of actual bug that's been encountered at Stripe. It's typically related to data processing, model performance, or pipeline integration. 2 tips for this round. Stripe is looking to see how well you handle real-world ML challenges under pressure. They'll evaluate your ability to work through problems in a structured way. You're expected to systematically test hypotheses, isolate components, and troubleshoot each section rather than rushing in or relying on assumptions. Next tip, focus on highlighting your ability to identify root causes in areas like data integrity, data drift, and model reliability. Moving to the final round, the hiring manager or HM chat. This one's led by either the hiring manager for the role or a leveler, someone who interviews across various levels to keep a consistent hiring standard. It's a more behavioral interview, so expect fewer technical questions and more focus on understanding how you are a candidate. Be prepared to discuss past projects and experiences, particularly any that highlight collaboration, ownership, and impact, as these are big at Stripe. Right, that's all from us. Lots of additional helpful resources in the description. Don't forget to check them out. If you found this video helpful, do like and subscribe. Thanks and good luck.
Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, please subscribe. Our website is prepfully.com. We've got lots of interview questions there. You can also schedule a mock interview with one of our experts. You can find the link in the description below. All the best from us at Prepfully, and we hope you totally rock your interview.